Good day, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to Route 66. We are in the high deserts of Arizona, and we got a thunderstorm going on right over top of us here at Flagstaff. It's just started raining. We got basically the main cell right over us. We got lightning. I put the MEDAR in the chat. Lots of lightning and ground strikes reported. But we're going to go anyway. We're going to go up to an altitude of 500 feet, and we're going to do some scud running. We're going to take off on runway 21, climb to 7,500 feet, and then we're going to turn north, follow Interstate 17. I want to see if I can find the Lowell Observatory just north of Flagstaff. So we're going to fly over the town, and then we'll head back down and pick up Route 66. Once we start heading west, we should come out of the storm cell, and it should be a little bit nicer. There is no overlay today. It's reporting an error with the servers that it connects to, so we'll just have to leave that off for now. So let's hop on board and we can start getting set up. Alright, so we're on board the aircraft. Ugh, as you can see, looks a little horrendous out there. That's okay. Alright, so batteries are coming on. Wait for the panel to come up. We're going to go full mixture and 1/4 inch crack on the throttle. We'll turn on the fuel pump. We'll get a little bit of fuel flow. Give it about 5 seconds to prime the engine. There we go. Engine's primed, so we'll turn the beacon. Nav lights are on. Magnetos are both, and starting engine. Up and running. We'll bring the RPMs up to about 900. Let her start to warm up as we let the rest of the aircraft warm up. Hey, Captain M12. Am I on Cardin? Not sure what Cardin is. We're a multiplayer. Get the other avionics up. We're now up on the panel here. There we go. So that's all up and set. Engine's warming up. How we're doing that? Yeah, definitely a rainy day here. Kevin's flying with us. Nice to see the DC-3 back here on Route 66. We're basically going to push out this way, taxi down, and then make a left turn. We'll taxi down to, let's say, Alpha 3, and then we will take off from there, and that should give Kevin enough room as well. So we'll set our altitude 7,500. 600, don't give us just over 500 feet above the ground. We're also going to come over here and enter in our route information just for reference. Alright, so we are here at Kilo Foxtrot. There we go. Lima Golf, which is Flagstaff. There we are. Enter that. We're going to be departing on runway 21, and we are heading to there we go. It's KP23. Let's see if it takes it in that format. It's a small airfield, so it doesn't have a 4-letter code. And there we go. KP23, it's not finding it. So what I'm going to do is just try it as P23. Sometimes it does it that way when you're in the States. It drops the K. Because it's just a small local airfield. this way. There we go, P23. Seligman, and that's where we're going, Seligman, Arizona. So we'll enter that. We're going to be landing on, I don't have charts for that airport, but the runways are, it's going to be runway 22, and that's 4,800 feet, Kevin, just so you know. There we go, enter and enter. So the route is now in. We can range out a little bit. You can see that's where we're headed. And that's where we are. Again, we'll be following Route 66 though, so we'll be not on that direct track. All right, we are all warmed up. I think I saw Kevin starting up, so he should be all warmed up. All right, so taxi lights will come on. I'm gonna turn the pitot heat on just because you never know we're at altitude. Once we get to A3, we are going to lean out the engine for peak performance because we are up at altitude. And what was the pressure? 3036. So we'll get that dialed in. There we go. 3033 right now at the airport. 6980, but the runway's a little bit higher than where we are currently. All right, so everything is online. Looks like Kevin's turning around. So we'll get the brakes off. We'll spin around ourselves. Oh, looks like somebody's taken off in a CC-19. I thought I heard another engine out there. That wasn't a round one or the one I have. Let's get some extra power there. Get this thing around. Alright. So we're going to taxi down to Alpha and then Alpha to Alpha 3. Didn't expect to have rains like this down here in Arizona. Although, I don't think it's a big storm. I think it's just very localized, and I know they get a lot of those types of storms down through there. I don't know why that taxiway is so far offset here. That's okay. We'll get down and the engine should be warmed up by the time we get there. Interesting, not seeing a model for you at all. What, you don't see me? I wonder if this guy's on preset weather, because he took off to the east. Right here. I mean, the multiplayer's been pretty stable. I haven't had many issues with people not showing up. Alright, there's A5. Like I said, we'll go down to A3. Get ready to go. See my tag, but not my plane. Oh. Okay, well, maybe that'll fix itself. We'll see what happens. So we just got a few more legs to go as we cross Arizona. Then we go into California. We cross over the, what are they? The Sierra Nevadas, I think, are the mountains in eastern California. And then we go down to the coast, the Pacific coast, and that will wrap up our Route 66 trip. Interesting. So, following on from this one will be the, we're going to Scotland. We're for the tour around Scotland. And we're going to be doing it in twins, at least I will be. So if you want to join in, these are multiplayer flights. You can get the information on the Discord, and you can join in the flights. All the links are posted there, where we're flying to, and you'll have all that information. So we're going to stop here at Alpha 3. You can also find links in the descriptions on both YouTube and Twitch. And Streamlabs is just repeating what I said. Well, that's fine. Alright, so let's get the brakes on. Just getting my charts all set up here. Alright, back into the cockpit we go. What I am going to do is turn up the lights a little bit, just make the illumination a little bit stronger since it is kind of murky out. Anyway, we're going to bring the engine up to 1800 RPM. This is something we would do anyway when we're doing engine checks before we go, which I don't tend to do. But what we will do is I'm just going to lean for power now for takeoff and flight, which something we would do over 3,000 feet anyway, and the airport's almost 7,000. So we're going to slowly pull back on the mixture. You can see the fuel flow changing. You can see the RPMs going up. I'm going to keep pulling back until I see an RPM drop. 240, 250, 260. 270. Bot's going crazy. Chat. There's 270. Okay, we're going back down. So there, 280. I've got the perfect amount of fuel for the air density where we are right now, and that's going to give me the maximum power I can get at this altitude. So I'm going to pull the power back to 1,000 again. There we go. And we are set. So we will put on our landing lights and our strobe lights. Taxi light can come off. Navs and beacons are set. Fuel pump is off. Don't need it. I'm going to go flaps 1 for takeoff. And let's move out. Looks like that CC-19 is back on the ground. Kevin's going to come up behind us. Spin that around. Get ourselves lined up, and we'll be good to go. Again, we're going up 500 feet, and then we're going to turn to follow the interstate, which should bring us up to, well, it will bring us up to the town of Flagstaff. Not sure what we're going to see, but we're only going to be 500 feet up. Alright, so we're set there, and brakes released, and going to full power. Full power is set. You can see we're only 2,300 RPM. We'd normally be up about 26, 27. That's because of the altitude, so we're going to be a little bit slow on our takeoff roll. Airspeed's live. So I'm going to rotate it about 55. We'll add in back pressure. You can feel that wind. It is windy and gusty here. And we are up. Keep climbing out. Alright, so autopilot, heading, vertical speed. Go 500 feet per minute. There we are, up over the trees. See, it's getting bounced around. I'm going to keep the landing lights on and everything. There's the highway. So we're going to make our turn to the north now. This is very much not legal to be doing. This is IFR conditions, and we're playing VFR here, or flying VFR. It is very dangerous, and would most likely end up with you crashing. So, not something you would do in real life. There's Kevin on the takeoff roll. We can sort of see the ground, so we're not too bad. Coming up now, I'm going to bring the flaps up so we can get some speed up. I'm going to bring the power back to 2450. There we go. Very dark out here. There's the interstate. See the heavy rains there. And the lightning. Yeah, we do have mountains ahead of us, but we're I'm going to take us up to 8,500 just for a little bit of safety. We'll go up about 400 feet per minute. 300 feet per minute. We should be all right. We're not going that close to the mountains. We're going to stay south. So the Lowell Observatory should be coming up shortly. Whoa! Yeah, I'll get your attention. Should be just over here somewhere. Alright, well, I think this was fun for the takeoff, but I think it's time to kind of correct for the weather, because we're not going to be able to see too much as we're doing this. So let me quickly come around, and as we're in the turn, let's go to a few clouds preset. This was nice, but there we go. It was a bit much to be trying to fly into. So we're just going to continue around in the 360 as we slowly climb to 8,500 feet. See Flagstaff below. Fortunately, it was lower than I thought it was, and figured we could get under the clouds, but no, wasn't going to happen. There's Kevin. So we'll keep turning around, and the observatory should be off to our right here somewhere. Should be up over here somewhere. It might not be modeled. Oh no, is that it? There it is. That could be it right there. Could be. It's the only thing I see out this way. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's head back down to the interstate, and we'll pick up our course out of Flagstaff. We're 8,500 feet, so we'll bring the power back up to 2450. You know, Kevin's a little bit faster than I am, so I want to keep our power up. There we go. say goodbye to Flagstaff. Really nice. There's the interstate, which is overlaid over the old Route 66, so we'll turn to follow it. We're going to head off towards Belmont, just up this way. And that's Rogers Lake. Yeah. I was a little bit lower than I thought it was and really couldn't see much of anything, so we're here for the views on this VFR flying. Just gonna head past the golf course. There's the U.S. Naval Observatory around here as well. That's the Flagstaff Extreme Adventure golf course, by the way. I'll head up towards Belmont. Now, the Seligman Airport elevation is 5,200 feet, so we should be kind of going downhill. I can definitely see how the countryside has changed. The landscape is a lot more wooded out here, especially at the higher elevation. So the temperatures would be a little less. Although we do see some desert off in the direction we're heading. This is Belmont coming up. Again, we're in the western half of Arizona. And the historic Route 66 has been overlaid by the interstate in this portion, so it's really nothing to see of it. Except for, I guess, some old stores in some of the towns and stuff. Most of it's gone. Alright, so there's downtown Belmont. Last time I was out, I was surprised by a surprise Spitfire, so we'll see if that happens again today. I have no idea. But we do have a DC-3 in formation. Unfortunately, without the overlay, it doesn't give me the rough distance to the next airport, so not sure how far it is. I don't know. We will see. This part of Interstate 40. I think And we saw this before, so this may be the stretch that runs through Arizona in its entirety. It's called the Purple Heart Trail. Purple Heart being a medal awarded in the U.S. military for those who are wounded in action or wounded in the face of the enemy. A lot of parkland out here. And it's an interesting change, although I can see desert again, as I mentioned, coming up to have all this woodland here. Yeah, we're sort of flying westward, varying up and down. Going to follow it along. Again, a good way to see the countryside if you've never been there and want to see what it looks like. The sim does a remarkable job of simulating, you know, pretty good what the terrain is like and the what it would be like to visit, fly over anyway. Park to the right, there's the park entrance. We're just going by the rail lines. Yeah, I can hear you sneaking up behind me. Are you seeing me yet, Kevin, or is it still just the tag? I'm also running the mod for power lines and smokestacks and chimneys and stuff like that, so that's nice to see those sometimes as well. We've seen that on this trip. All I can see are your lights. Really? I mean, this is a default aircraft. Custom skin, but default aircraft. Strange, sir. I find it very strange. Well, it's an improvement. Maybe by the end of the flight you'll see my aircraft. Looks like the rail tracks are splitting off to the a little bit more southwards. But you've seen this livery before, so I don't know why that would cause it. And why it wouldn't put me in a default, you know, the default Textron 172 livery. See, it's going to get a little bit hillier out here. So we're coming up to something called the Grand Canyon Deer Farm. It's that red patch just after the bend. So they raise some breed of deer out here. Pass over a couple of little areas of water. usually doesn't show up for me. This livery doesn't show up for you? Really? That's the deer farm. That's odd. Anyway, we'll curve out over the water here, following the interstate and old Route 66. So we keep heading out through surprisingly treed area of western Arizona. Well, I think we're going to be heading into more desert. Just looking at maps, it seems to show that a lot of the green starts to go away. Well, maybe not. It's like a little go-kart track down there. It's the Williams Exit 167 Circle Pines KOA Holiday Campsite. There you go. And coming up to the south of us is the Bearizona. Get it? Bearizona Wildlife Park. I'm guessing they have bears in there. That's this area in here. And coming up ahead is the little town of Williams. Williams, Arizona. Now, if you were to take this road, follow this north for a while, you would, oh, there's an interesting shadow following me, you would end up at the Grand Canyon, which runs up there. We've done that on the channel a number of times, so we're not going up there. But we're not that far away from it, maybe an hour's drive, hour and a half drive. But there is Williams. Yeah, we're going to follow the interstate. And this is Buckskinner Park over this way. I think in here. Williams is a fair size. It's time to say goodbye. Head southwest here. Yeah, that's what I thought. You should get the default one at least, but we'll see. Like a little bit of a mining operation going on there to the left. Multiple golf courses down here, or at least a few holes anyway. It looks like it's kind of spread out among the houses. Interesting layout. Now, apparently there's a lake up here called the McClellan Lake. It's a photo opportunity. Not quite seeing it yet. Should be coming up. Also further to the south, almost directly south of us, You'd have to take one of these little dirt roads, I think, that head off of the interstate here. You'll find a historic hat ranch. Listed as like a motel. Not sure where the hat ranch comes in. Here comes McClelland Lake. Photo opportunity, apparently. The two people who have reviewed it on Google say give it 5 stars. I would be guessing they are starved for entertainment down here. Although it does do what it says it does. It is a lake, and it is probably named after somebody named McClellan. So the only historic McClellan I know is George C. McClellan, who was a Union general during the U.S. Civil War. But yeah, wild berets in all colors. A little bit more rolling hills here, and the trees are dying out, getting a little bit more scrublandy. I think the ground elevation is dropping a little bit as well, which is why trees are going away, because it'll be hotter down here. Less conducive to tree growth. Yeah, they're ordered from the Hat Ranch in Arizona. So yeah, it looks like the deserts are opening up again ahead of us here, coming out of the higher elevations we had around Flagstaff. Interesting. I wonder if that's power lines. Yeah, you can see the mountains. We were back up in the higher area there. Travels on. I wonder if those are power transmission corridor off the Hoover Dam. Could be. So that little town you can see off in the distance is called Ash Fork. Interesting name. There's quite a layout of roads to the north of it. Let's see how extensive it is. Just past it, we should be able to pick up part of the old Route 66, so we're going to keep an eye out for that. Oh yeah, there's the roads going up here, all a bunch of like trailers and stuff up on these dirt roads. There's Ash Fork itself. looks like the train runs through here as well. Oh, and there's your standard high school. Baseball, football field, track around it. Spot these layouts in the States, like wherever you go. And there's a little community on the dirt roads. Well, that spreads out pretty far. All the way up there. I guess that's the suburbs. There's downtown. Yeah, well, we're back out into the more arid desert. I think the ground elevation has dropped, Dark, so it's bringing us to more typical Arizona deserty type of environs. Clouds coming up, little wispies. So, as my schedule sits right now, Monday will be our last stream before I head out again. Flying up to the Northwest Territories in Canada. I'll be gone for a week. So Monday will be the last stream for a week. And then hoping I may have a video or two to throw up in the interim. On my return, we may be back in Route 66 again. I'll have to see what how the schedule looks. Or we may be back in the European capital, so I'm not exactly sure. We'll see. Just punching through the bottom of that cloud. Didn't quite lose visual with the ground, so that's perfectly good. So you can see the little interchange down there, and this road we're going to follow branching off. This is the old Route 66 that heads up towards Seligman. So that's what we're going to follow. Tomcat down there. How are you enjoying the flight, Kevin? So you can see the interstate off to the left, and the old route here off to the, well, almost right below us, slightly to the right. Could be. It's not far from here, is it? Just looking at your comment a little while, I got no idea what you were referring to there. Probably too late to make any sense anyway. So as I mentioned, the airport elevation is 5,200 feet. Oh, Hoover Dam. Yeah, it's at the Hoover Dam is at the western end of Lake Mead on the south end. So yeah, it could have been the power lines. So we're going to descend down to 6,300 feet, and that should set us up fine. And you got just under 5,000 feet for landing coming, and we'll get ourselves up and ready to go. So we'll set 6,300 feet. We'll start heading downwards. 500 feet per minute. We'll pull the power so we're not accelerating too fast. Now I'm using the autopilot to force the descent rate, but the basic rule of thumb in the 172, if you're flying it, is 100 RPM is 100 feet per minute change in vertical up or down. So if you add 100 RPM and you're trimmed out at level flight, you will climb 100 feet per minute. If you're trimmed in level flight and you deduct or pull back 100 RPM, say 2100 to 20 or to 2000, you will start descending with that 100 feet per minute. When I was doing my flight training, my instructor would not let me use the autopilot. So that was the way you did it. You were trimmed for level flight. You wanted to go down 1,000 feet. You pull, say, 400 RPM. You descend at 400 feet per minute. Roughly. But generally works. So we're coming up for the airport. It's only 8 miles away. Just start making it the town ahead of us. It's right there. Airport's on the north side of the road, and it's facing that way. So we're going to fly over top of the airport. I'm going to make a left turn and then come in and then make a left turn and go into a left pattern for landing. Ideally, we would be 500 feet above airport circuit pattern. So 5,200 feet would be the airport. Well, actually, let's do that. Why say it and not do it? So 5,200 feet is the airport elevation. 6,200 feet is the circuit height. So you add 500 feet to that. That's 6,700 feet. There you go. 6,700. That will be the altitude we'll overfly the airfield at. And once we're on the what they call the dead side of the airfield, the other side, because most airfields are left-hand patterns because the pilot sits on the left, we will turn and descend that last 500 feet to 6,200, come back across the southwest end of the airfield and join the pattern. We'll keep that power up, keep the speed at about 110 knots. As we descend down, there's Kevin coming in behind us in his DC-3. Actually, Kevin, any update on the airplane having DC-3? And the surface here doesn't say what the surface is, so assuming it's going to be paved. We'll see. Airfield's kind of directly ahead of us. I'll move slightly so I'm more to the northeastern edge. Coming out free in November. Oh boy, November's going to be like Christmas. 6,700 feet, bring the power back up to 2450. I'm going to, because we've dropped in altitude, I'm just going to re-lean the engine, just check, see how we're doing here. Yeah, we're still perfectly leaned out. Get it up to 2440 where it was. It's bouncing around in the air. Yeah, 2400. There we go. 2410. So that'll hold us there. The airport's right ahead of us. If you didn't see it, there she is, and you can see the single runway. So we're gonna fly over. We'll loop around to the left, drop down the circuit height, come back in over the town, descending down, and then we'll land. And it's gonna be a right-hand departure. We'll get off, and then we'll park up right here on the ramp. All right, so speed's coming back. Keep the speed up. Oh, PC6. So it's airfield there. So we want to keep in mind it is runway 22. So we're going to do 04 as our reciprocal. So we're now overflying the airfield. We'd be on radio making calls out on the traffic frequency here, but we're overhead the airfield. And I'm going to turn off the autopilot. I'm going to set my heading bug to 22 just as a reference point. It's a little trick that I was taught not to use. Alright, so we're going to pull back on the power. We're going to begin our descent. We're going down to 6,200. You can cross overhead to join in the downwind at circuit height, but because we're overflying the airfield, we want to be at least 500 feet higher. Alright, so we're just going to follow this way. Yeah, the airfield's over there. So we're going to keep descending down until the indicator bug is at our 3 o'clock, and that will mean we are perpendicular to the runway. 6,200 feet coming up. We'll add some power. Slow that descent rate down. There's the airport. We can make our turn now. Bring that power up 2450. And to hold that 6,200 feet. We're going to be aiming to fly over the town. That will give us spacing for our base and final. Keep that altitude. It's a little bit bumpy. And we've got trim wheel, so let's use the trim. So we're not fighting it. Here's the end of the airfield. Turn so that the heading bug is directly behind us at our 6 o'clock. That means we are flying down the length of the runway. There it is. At the halfway point, we'll start getting ourselves ready for landing. So, landing lights are on, strobe lights are on. Mixture. We'll go full rich. Actually, no, we'll keep it trimmed just because of altitude. Again, we're 5,500 feet. Pull back on the power. It's the end of the runway. Power back to 1,500 RPM. Keeping the altitude. Alright, 385 knots, flaps 1. We can begin our base turn. Start descending. We're trying to trim to 65 knots. Speed's coming back. Keep trimming that nose up until we get to 65. Second notch of flaps will help. Alright, we're now perpendicular again. There's the runway, so we're going to begin our turn. We've overshot, but that's fine. There's 65 knots. We want the nose to come down. That speed up. Yeah, we're in a little bit tight. That's fine. Our view. Again, we're aiming for 65 knots. You can do 60, it's fine. Just means we're a little slow and we gotta watch it. The controls get a little bit mushy as you slow her down. 65. Power right back. Ease the flare, speed will come back, should touch down around 50. 51. There we go. Welcome to Seligman. Let's get on the brakes. I'm going to exit here. There we go. Needed the brakes to push us around. So landing lights can come off, strobe lights will come off, taxis out. So come on, flaps will go up. There's Kevin on his base. We're going to go park over by the ramp agent there. Or as we used to call them, and I used to be one, ramp rats. Let's cut it in too tight in the sim. All right, welcome to Seligman. So we get our taxi lights and nav lights off, beacon lights are on. Brings an engine up to 1,000 RPM. This helps pull oil out of the sump and the pan. Make sure everything's circulated and lubricated before shutdown. There's Kevin. Oh, plenty of room. Alright, mixture full off. Throttle closed. Magnetos off, lights off, avionics off, master and batteries off. Alright, so it's another leg on Route 66 done. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to join us, like I said, you can get the Discord information, and we're flying this on Wednesdays. At the moment, Kevin, thank you very much for flying along. And our next flight is back in the A320 on Friday, 1930 Zulu, as we continue our European capitals. Take care, everybody. See you on the next one. Bye for now.